Today, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I realized that I've only talked about things I like. This is not gonna do.
Let's go!
If I want to be taken seriously, I'm gonna need some haters. I also decided that a video on Dragon Ball would fit perfectly into my YouTube niche, that being literally anything. Dragon Ball fans, before you dislike the video and leave a comment explaining why the show is actually a masterpiece, listen to me for a second. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't let this internet holy schmoly guide detract from your enjoyment of the show. I'd even go as far as to say I envy you. I really wanted to like it. I wanted to like it so bad I sat through the entire original series and 138 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, patiently waiting for it to steal my heart. But alas, it never happened. I first started watching anime in 7th grade. All my friends had been watching anime for years, but for the longest time, I abstained from watching it. I was just so cool that watching anime would have ruined my whole aesthetic. It just seemed so weird. There was so much about it that I didn't understand, so I never bothered to give it a shot. Until one day, I was at my friend's house, and he had me play Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Road to Boruto, an anime fighting game with Naruto characters. My 13-year-old brain saw this and was like, ooh, this looks kinda cool. So my first expedition into the world of anime was Naruto. Probably not the best first choice, but I was 13, man, come on. Also, I absolutely loved it. The music, the characters, the fights, the abilities, what a journey it was to watch this show. Wow, it's a bummer that I'm finished. I'll never get to watch an action-packed show with a strong protagonist who improves his powers and fights stronger and stronger enemies as the series progresses ever again. Oh, it's an entire genre. Shonen is a Japanese word to describe Japanimations, where cool guys fight each other and get stronger. That's right, this is a genre of anime. And as it turns out, I really like it. Maybe it's because I'm literally the target demographic, maybe because I'm a little baby wavy who likes kids shows, or maybe because it's just fucking cool. Naturally, anyone watching shonen anime is gonna come across the king of the genre at some point, Dragon Ball. While not the first shonen, the Dragon Ball series was one of the first big mainstream shows to really popularize the genre. Many common tropes seen in shonen anime can be traced back to Dragon Ball, good ones and bad ones. As an intermediate anime enjoyer myself, I was excited to finally watch Dragon Ball to experience this iconic show that's captivated millions across the globe. I watched the original series, like 20 episodes of Z, and then I stopped watching. This was like 4 years ago. I can't remember why I stopped. I probably was like cranking 90s in Fortnite or building a giant dick in Minecraft or something, I don't know. Recently, TikTok decided to bring Dragon Ball to the forefront of my attention once again. After seeing all these fire edits, amazing character monologues, and my personal favorite, the memes, I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about being better than Kakarot. I didn't care about being a Super Saiyan. I didn't care if I lived. I didn't care about anything. I thought to myself, I need to go back and finish this show. There's just so much cool stuff I haven't seen. So I did just that. I put on my Tricore hat and took to the internet to finally finish Dragon Ball Z. And I just couldn't do it. I tried so hard. I kept watching and watching, telling myself I haven't gotten to the good part, that it's about to pick up in a couple episodes, but it just didn't. I was waiting for something that was never going to come. I'll be the first to admit that there were moments of the show I enjoyed. I really liked all the character interactions, especially the ones with Vegeta, who carries every scene he's in, by the way.
I do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, and I drink plenty of juice.
But that's about it. The best moments are held so far back by this unending sea of BS. Okay, I've been dancing around my clickbait title for the past insert time minutes. Time to rip off the band-aid and lose some subscribers. Last thing to remember, I'm only speaking for what I've seen of Dragon Ball Z, not the rest of it or Super or anything else. I really started to get pissed off after power levels were introduced. The power level is supposed to be a measure of a fighter's strength in number form, except that it's not, at all, whatsoever, not even a little bit. Power levels are rarely discussed and then boom, all of a sudden, every character's talking about sensing power levels, increasing power levels, hiding power levels. It's a power level bargain sale! The thing that frustrates me is that nothing is explained. Our protagonist can sense power levels, but the bad guys need visors. But to my knowledge, the heroes never trained to sense them. They can also suppress their power levels. And all these experienced warriors the gang faces can't even fathom a technique such as this. What? Now this isn't shocking news. Everyone knows that power levels are stupid. I knew it before going into the show. But the thing is, the show does this with everything. It seems like every power and ability just comes out of thin air. Oh, Goku can fly now? Okay, oh, he can teleport? Where'd he learn that? Off screen? Right, okay. The only ability we see him learn and that's explained how it works is the Kamehameha, which, while iconic, is the least unique power in the entire damn show. Every DBZ character and their grandma has some sort of energy beam, but what's the difference between the Kamehameha and all these other beams, you may be asking? Well, if you examine the attack closely, you can see that the Kamehameha is actually blue. Besides beam attacks, the only other abilities that the characters can possess are speed and strength, which leads every battle in the show to play out like this. I'm stronger than you.
No, I'm stronger.
Gah! I'll have to power up. Ah! Now I'm stronger.
Gah! Well, this isn't even my final form. Now I'm strong.
In a show like Naruto or Hunter x Hunter, the diversity in abilities is turned up to the max. In both universes, we see characters developing their own special powers and villains with terrifying abilities that our characters have never faced before. This forces them to get creative and adds a whole nother dimension to the fights. How are we going to defeat this opponent? What are their weaknesses? How does their ability work? How can I use my powers to best combat theirs? This makes fights so much more engaging because we don't know how the fight is going to play out. We don't know what the characters are going to do to win. Giving everyone the same powers puts them on a one-dimensional number line. If someone is stronger, that's it, they win, the other character is objectively inferior. With different abilities, some characters can excel at certain skills and their friends can excel at others. This is so important because it actually gives versatility to the side characters, which leads me to my next point. The side characters in Dragon Ball are good characters. Their interactions are fun to watch, we have a good balance of personalities, they're not bad. Except for one major problem. They don't matter at all. Because the only thing that matters in this universe is strength. Our side characters stand no chance of fighting the villains on their own. We spend so much time with them training, seeing them develop and get stronger, and for what? Just to see the villain power up once and beat their sorry asses. Then Goku has to come along and actually get the job done, because he's cooler than everyone else. Alright, I'm gonna do this again, bear with me. In Naruto, the side characters actually matter. We see these characters we've come to know and love occupy vital roles in the story, helping to accomplish things our main protagonists could have never done on their own. Do I see Naruto through a pair of rose-tinted glasses? Probably, but this is my video and I can't hear you, so la 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 la. Dragon Ball has decent characters, but the only reason for their existence is to watch Goku come and beat the villain. I wanted them to do something so bad, but they just all end up helpless like a damsel in distress, waiting for Goku to come save them. Sometimes, we see one of the characters stand up to a villain. It's all heroic. This is the moment. Let's go! And they're dead. They lost. No, not Yamcha, not Tien. How will we live on without them? They're back to life. Not Krillin. Ugh, what's Goku gonna do? He's alive again. Not even these characters' deaths can be meaningful. Well, whatever. It's not like people are watching Dragon Ball for groundbreaking cinematic storytelling. They watch it for the fights. The fights are gonna be epic, right? Right? I would be lying if I said this show looked bad 100% of the time. There are some really smooth animations and cool visuals. However, I'm not lying anymore. The great looking moments are overshadowed by the gargantuan amount of awful looking ones. Listen, I understand that not every minute of every episode of a long running series can look like this, or like this, but almost every cool fight is ruined for me by this. The sheer amount of time-saving techniques and still shots of characters talking to each other dilute all the cool-looking parts to almost nothing. But I could forgive this, and everything else, if it weren't for Dragon Ball's greatest sin of all. Dragon Ball Z has some of the worst, most genuinely awful pacing I've ever had the displeasure of experiencing. Let's take a closer look. There are 291 episodes in the show, and our heroes fight the Saiyans, Frieza, the androids, Cell, and Majin Buu. Fights move at a snail's pace and it shows. Dragon Ball feels the need to drag out every single fight to make it as long as humanly possible. It becomes hilariously apparent through the show's biggest trope. Our heroes stand proudly, ready to fight the villain, and Goku is nowhere to be found. Oh right, he would just make it too easy, so they're gonna have to save him for later. The first time they did this was when the Saiyans first arrived, and it's gonna take Goku days of running to finally reach the battle and save everyone. I actually didn't even mind this at first, because it was wrapped into the story nicely. But then for the next battle, Goku's behind everyone else and needs to reach the planet they're on a spaceship, which will take 6 days. Then in the same arc, he needs to heal up before he can fight again, leaving everyone else on their own. Then in the next arc, he gets a mysterious heart disease right when the bad guys show up, so he can't fight them. Then after he finally gets better, he needs to go train in the hyperbolic time chamber so he can't fight again. This is when I quit watching. At some point, it doesn't matter anymore if his absence fits into the story because they've already done it 5 times. I felt like I didn't need to keep watching because I could already predict everything that was going to happen. And this made me sad. After listening to me complain for however far along this is in the video, you probably think that I hate Dragon Ball, but I don't. In the words of your father, I'm not mad, just disappointed. I expected a lot from the show and ultimately I was let down. Your dad and I actually have a lot in common. All the clips I've seen and the character speeches I've heard just made it look so cool, but I just did not like it at all. Maybe my palate is just too sophisticated for Dragon Ball because, as you all know, I only partake in the enjoyment of peak media. But you know what? Maybe you shouldn't overanalyze everything you come across and sometimes just enjoy what's in front of you. While I may not have liked Dragon Ball, its influence on anime and the shonen genre as a whole have led to the creation of some of my favorite series, and I thank it for that. Maybe I'll give it another shot, finish the series. I still haven't seen some of the best moments yet. Goku stayed up extraordinarily late last night, and he's fast asleep. Will he be able to reach the battle in time to save the others? Find out in the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Okay, never mind. Time to get back to some real television.